But now the drivers face their greatest challenge, 47.38 kilometres of the toughest stage in World Rally, the Motu. It's the International Rally of Rotorua, round 4 of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship. Yoo-hoo! Go the Steamers! Yes, a month ago, this is just about where we were standing when Bay of Plenty scored their first try against the Lions, and the crowd along here just went off because that night Rotorua was rocking to big-time rugby. But now, Sulphur City is about to come alive with a nice combo of skids and slush. Oh, that smell. Yes, it's the smell of petrol that's got the rally fans along to the start of Rotorua, where they can mix it with the stars and cars of the New Zealand and Asia Pacific Rally Championships. Chris West had taken the lead in the Parker NZ Championship. After Wairarapa, he was 21 points ahead of Emma Gilmore.
It's not big enough, but this weekend is just about obviously building on that. It's important, round 4, it's the last of the multi-legs, so it just makes it obviously all that more important to get 2 good results.
The second overall in the championship at the moment. Another round, you're going to try and keep there?
Yeah, it's sort of it's not something that we're actively chasing. We're really just looking at getting experience and getting as most miles as possible. I was disappointed with the consistency at Wairarapa and want to improve on that again this weekend and improve on the speed again.
It's been a bit of pressure on. I think most of the New Zealand Championship guys know that this is an important weekend, and we want to make sure that we put the right mark on it, really.
Stage 1, a 14.3 kilometre public road stage with heavy gravel throughout and plenty of rain to wash the road. Runners around at the APRC, the New Zealand drivers were slotted into the start order with the top international drivers. In fact, by the time Chris West started stage 1,
34 left plus 100.
4 other drivers had already gone ahead of him.
5 left 150.
Had the rally been dry, that would have helped West by sweeping the roads. But now it could be a problem if the road breaks down in the wet.
120.
In fact, the road conditions were perfect for West. He posted an opening time of 8 minutes, 17.9 seconds. Sitting on the start line, Mark Tapper's face says it all. He was 3rd overall here in 2004 and has come here determined to do better and get back in the lead of the Parker NZ Championship.
3, 2, 1, go. 50 and 4 left plus 120.
While other drivers have an array of tyres to choose from, Tapper is committed to running a wide 205 size Michelin for the entire rally. That decision would cause a few anxious moments.
And 60 to long, 4 left minus. Tidy, 4 left minus, long. And 60. 5 right minus, you're going good, keep it tidy. 5 right minus, tightens. And 30 to long.
He blitzes the entire rally field and takes the lead overall with 8 minutes, 11.6 seconds, but is still worried about those tyres.
4 right plus opens. Good boy, finished. Why is it too wide? Yeah.
Round 3 winner Richard Mason had an electrical fault in the engine through the stage, finding himself back in 8th place, 20 seconds down on Tapper. Sam Murray has battled with Emma Gilmore throughout the championship, both leading the rest of the pack at times. But while Gilmore has the points in the bank,
short 7 left minus into 6 right 60. Long 4 left 30. 4
Murray has been frustrated with poor finishes, so could that change here? Well, he was 6th overall. 3rd in the championship, Emma Gilmore needed another good result here to stay in touch at the top.
3 right plus long.
John Beanie has taken time out from the PWRC to co-drive with Emma for this weekend, and they were off to a good start. 4th fastest, just 10 seconds down on Tapper.
5 over crest.
But the surprise of the stage was Marty Rostenberg, 9 times winner of the Rotorua Clubman's Rally and no stranger to these roads. He was 3rd, just 3.7 seconds behind West. Dean Sumner was another with plenty of local knowledge. He put together one of the best stages of the season so far after struggling since his big crash at Rally NZ. Dean's crew has also given the Evo 8 a closer look and found that there was a misalignment in the suspension. While that was repaired, Dean and co-driver Jeff Kress have also worked hard on improving their pace notes, and the results were promising. They were 5th fastest in the championship battle, 13 seconds down on Tapper. Brett Martin was just 3.3 seconds behind Sumner in 7th. 3 seconds in front of Mason, who had Glenn Smith and Dylan Turner tied just 0.6 seconds back. So a surprising top 6, evenly spread mix of Mitsubishi and Subaru too, with Tapper leading the way. Stage 2 through Rotorua Forest had to be cancelled last year, but for 2005 the short but challenging forest stage was open for action. First car through the stage, and Chris West is the first to find that this road is very slippery. And after being beaten on special stage 1, he was pushing hard to keep up with Tapper. Mark Tapper showed that his stage 1 pace was no fluke, blasting through the stage in 6 minutes 20.4 to again set the pace for the New Zealand drivers.
100, very long, 6 left.
His wide tyres causing some anxious moments as he fought to stay on the road.
Long 5 right. Try and pick the clay in the sand, mate.
But this would be a similar story for all the competitors.
These tyres feel a little bit difficult to drive on because they're so wide, but they seem to be producing the time, so we'll see what happens in the next one.
When we last saw Grant Barber, his car was a mangled wreck after his accident in Wairarapa, but a huge effort by his team had the car back racing.
They finished last night and at about 8 o'clock and drove it up to run it in because it was a brand new motor, and they got to Rotorua last night after midnight. Really impressed with the effort that the guys have put in to get us here. It's just mind-boggling the amount that they've done in such a short time.
It's a family affair for the Barbers, with wife Katrina in support along with their son Max.
A few months after we got married, Grant decided he wanted to be a rally car driver, and I didn't realise that owning a road car meant that you wanted to be a rally driver. He had an Evo 6. So I started co-driving with him, and it was lots of fun. Often if I come to service, I try and do as much as I can to help out with the crew, in between looking after Max, who likes to run around the park.
And do you think Max will follow in Dad's footsteps?
I don't know. I hope he's as good. I hope he's a good a driver. He might be faster. That would be, it would be something. If they were competing against each other in the future, that would be really funny too.
So maybe another generation of rally drivers waiting in the wings. Anyway, after 2 stage, Tapper still on top from West, then Rostenberg. Mason now moving up from Gilmore and Murray.
But of course, this wasn't just a rally for the production cars. The Kiwi 2 class was a little depleted after accidents at Wairarapa, but Dave Strong was still leading the way and had a 14-second lead after stage 2. Shane Watkyn is another of those second-generation rally drivers, and he held second in his Nissan, just 7 seconds in front of Nick Marshall, son of rally legend Mike Marshall. Nick has had terrible luck this season. In fact, this was the first time he'd got to the second stage on a rally all year. Jason West had his little Suzuki Ignis in 4th, ahead of a man who can definitely be called one of New Zealand's first-generation rally drivers, Reg Cook. And James Holder was back despite all odds, after a generous offer from Dale Perry at Rally Drive NZ.
He said to me, we'll give you a car for the rally, for Rally of Rotorua, and don't have to pay, we'll just give it to you. So I'm not sure if he's completely sane, because I just absolutely totaled my car and then he gives me his car to have a go at as well.
The next stage, Manawaihage, is about as famous in New Zealand as the mighty Motu, but overshadows every stage on this rally. 24.23 kilometres of tight, twisty, rough road, broken only by a short few k's of tarmac, and the infamous site of a helicopter crash in 1985, which has become the meeting place for hundreds of avid rally spectators for the past 20 years. Yes, it's the famous Helicopter Corner. On board with Chris West, the first New Zealand driver on the road, and look at the tight, twisty nature of this stage. The road is quite soft underneath. So if we look at Dylan Turner's perspective, 11 cars further down the field over the same piece of road, just look at how broken the surface has become. So So West has the advantage here through the stage as the road would get worse. The tarmac might seem like light relief after the first gravel road, but drivers have to be careful not to cook their rally tyres through these fast corners. There's still plenty of gravel left before the finish line.
7 right 30.
West's time, 17 minutes 41.7 seconds, but his average speed tells the story, a modest 82 k's. Mason's now back to full speed after his problems on stage 1. And just like Wairarapa, he's matching West's time, 0.3 seconds the difference between the two. Mason wins the stage.
3 right.
But Mark Tapper is still in the hunt. He's using every inch of the road on those wide Michelin tyres.
Tidy. And opens.
Mark's time is 17 minutes 42 seconds, so he's 0.6 seconds behind Mason.
30 to 3
It's still Tapper first, West second, but now Mason is third overall. Sam Murray upped his pace through Manawahe. In fact, he would move from 6th to 4th by the end of the stage. Once again finds himself the best of the rest behind the dominant 3 up front. Rostenberg would go no further, sliding off the road 6 kilometres from the end. He would have to wait until leg 2 on Sunday to re-enter the rally.
4 left minus, we had in the pace notes. We've just written in don't go wide. Clearly we've gone a little bit wide and nearly got away with it, but the back end of the car got caught over the edge of the bank and it sucked the front over and we've rolled down the bank here.
Dean Sumner was back on the pace again through the stage and putting real pressure on 5th place Emma Gilmore ahead of him. In fact, by the end of the stage, just 0.6 seconds separated these two young drivers. And it wasn't as though Gilmore had backed off. In fact, she was lucky to make it to the stage end after hitting a rock. The impact actually broke her wheel and bent the steering, but fortunately, wheel and tyre held together till the end of the stage. Brett Martin matched Gilmore's time through here and would slot him behind Sumner in 7th place. Glenn Smith was having a stage he'd rather forget when they knocked out the power to the intercom while changing a tyre at the end of stage 2. So running without pace notes in one of the rally's hardest stages, they were just relieved to get to the end unscathed.
Corner.
That allowed Dylan Turner to move into 8th place. A good day for another one of the older Evo 6 Lancers. Turner and co-driver Sandeep Bansal are a new combo for this year, and this is only the 2nd year in the championship for Turner.
6 left Titans 100. That was terrible.
Leanne Barnes lost time on the stage, and that saw her slip back 34 seconds to Bret Taylor in the battle to be the first rookie. And Taylor would be pretty happy to finish the day with another top 10 place. So at the end of day 1, the top 8 looks like this. Tapper with a 10-second lead over West, then another 13 back to Mason. Murray in 4th, but Emma Gilmore under huge pressure for 5th place, just a second between her and Dean Sumner.
Just 5 Kiwi 2 cars left after Nick Marshall went off the road and threw a deer fence on this stage. Dave Strong was 13th overall and now had a 30-second lead over Shane Watkyn in the Nissan. The Jungle Coffee Nissan was only 6 seconds slower than Strong on this stage, the Honda having more of an advantage on the fast open straights. With Marshall gone, West moved into 3rd in the Kiwi class.
Coming up after the break, 47 kilometres of the mighty Motu. Day 2 for Rally Rotorua, dawn with overcast skies and clouds shrouding the upper reaches of the Motu. Perfect conditions to attack this 47-kilometre monster stage, which even on a cool day can leave drivers exhausted by the end. It's on long stages like this that the role of the co-driver is crucial.
We all know the role of a driver in the rally car, but what about the other person in the rally car, the passenger, known as the co-driver? What does he do in the rally?
I've got a route book which shows us the route to go, the intersections, the way to the special stage, and we also, as I say, have a target time, so I have to work that out and make sure we get there on time. And I clock in on that time, and then we start getting ready for the stage.
3, 2, 1, go. 50 and 4 left plus.
In the special stages and rallies like this, we have pace notes. We've been over the road beforehand, and we've got a detailed shorthand of all the, the straights, the crests, the corners, the degrees of the corners, and I call that out at a speed that Mark knows what's ahead exactly. So if it's in tight stuff, I can slow it down, and real fast stuff, he has to know quite a few hundred metres ahead what's coming up. So yeah, that's my role, and I've got to get it right, or we can have a big crash.
Into 2 left. You're going all right. 2 left. Tight.
Well, the trust between the driver and co-driver is, hugely important, because he has to trust that I've got it right and believe in me, and as long as I don't make too many mistakes, I guess we build that relationship up. But yeah, it is so important. It's like best mate or brother type relationship, and yeah, it's got to work well on the car.
Once you get to the end of the special stage, what happens then?
I hand the time card over, they confirm our stage time. I've normally timed it on our Calibra or stopwatch or whatever, and we try and have a look and see what our competitors have done and see how we compare.
Right, we've got 2 minutes left.
So as you can see, the role of the co-driver is just as crucial as the driver. A good co-driver and a good driver makes a brilliant rally team.
Mark Tapper not only led the New Zealand Championship cars after day one, but he shared a tie for the lead in the international group as well with Japan's Toshi Arai. This is the only genuine chance for a Kiwi to win an international outright on home soil. So there's a real motivation on Tapper as he drives through the stage. But disaster strikes. A rock has hit the intercooler, smashing the pipe, and he'll struggle out of the stage.
It tightens to 3. You're going all right, mate. 5 left plus tightens to 4. Lost just under 1 minute to reach.
Mark, looks like going through the Mutu, some problems for you.
Yeah, I think it might have holed the intercooler or something with 19 k's to go. I don't know, just lost all boost and I've just driven through. I was very surprised that Richard didn't catch me.
As you can see, it's an unforgiving stage. Mistakes and problems can be very costly, as Emma Gilmore is about to rediscover. 2 years ago, she damages a wheel hub and was forced to retire on the stage, and she suffers the same fate in 2005. Knocking her inside wheel on a rock and breaking a steering arm. Her rally would end on the side of the road until she could repair the car and restart on Sunday morning.
That seems really, really forced.
So the stage had claimed 2 victims, but the first New Zealand car through had been Chris West. Not only did he have the best road conditions with just 4 international cars ahead of him, but his Subaru was perfectly suited to the stage, Roger.
And watching Chris West here, placing the Subaru perfectly, coming through there, Apex is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely crucial through this special stage to do this, to ensure a good special stage time. Now, the Subaru seems to suit these particular stages over the Mitsubishi Lancer because of the handling ability and the low-down torque range that they've got can get through the tight, twisty 47-kilometre stages a lot quicker.
His time, 41 minutes, 27.3 seconds. But now it's the turn of Richard Mason to show that his record-breaking drive-through here last year was no fluke. A real championship drive through the stage, and just look at the perfect lines too as he hits the apex in the old Subi.
And he literally hits the apex. He just clipped the bank there. However, Richard's keeping the car real nice and straight and tidy through here. He's probably got a little bit of understeer, but he's a master of the Motu.
And he wins the stage for the Kiwi drivers, 41 minutes, 8.5 seconds.
4 left plus into 2 left.
Sam Murray would also benefit from Tapper's demise, moving up to 3rd place despite hitting this bank.
Into 3 right, small exit line.
That is exactly where Sumner went to last year.
Great memory, Sam. Colin McRae once said of the Motu that it was so hard because being so tight and twisty, it made it very hard to actually try and judge your pace.
Concentration and fitness is a key element driving through this stage. Now, Sam's going through the fast section at the moment, so the pace notes, the way the pace notes are delivered is absolutely important to ensure a good flow through here. And then they go into the tight, twisty stuff towards the end of the special stage, which Sam's just about entering now. Now, this is where the fitness comes in because your first and second gear, your arms are going like crazy through this tight, windy section.
This is Brett Martin, 45 seconds slower than Mason, but 4th fastest. An impressive effort too from the young tie-happy driver.
And what was even more impressive with Brett is he wasn't running the special FIA fuel that a lot of the top drivers run. Now, that fuel gives you an advantage of coming out of the corners.
4 left minus.
This is Dylan Turner. He had a great run through this tight part of the Motu, which is first, second gear. It's a real go track up on the high part of the stage. And anything can go wrong. Despite that, he was 6th fastest on the stage, now moving up to 7th overall, 12 seconds behind the local man, Dean Sumner. Sumner, however, was complaining of low boost in the turbo. He had been 18 seconds slower than Turner through the stage, but that's only 18 seconds over 47 kilometres, where the average speed for the winner was well under 70 k's. It's a real dogfight on the mountain.
6 left minus 150 to 3 right.
Squeezed between these two on the stage and chasing them hard for outright place was Glenn Smith. Smith was still recovering from losing his intercom on stage 3 and losing lots of time.
2 right coming up. Repeat, 2 right and 20.
Now Collins just said that's a 2 right. Now that's a very tight corner.
Pow, 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 pow.
Now imagine going through this particular stage with no pace notes.
Titans.
It'd be like driving in an Auckland traffic jam. Bret Taylor has never experienced a stage like the Mighty Motu in his short rally career. Coming from a horse racing background, he might compare it to a Grand National steeplechase. But he was still the leading rookie, an impressive 9th place. He was in front of a cautious Grant Barber. Now, to say that Barber's rally career was turned on its head at the last round in Wairarapa would be an understatement. The Foxton farmer survived what would be called the mother of all rally crashes, but his cautious approach on this rally earned him 10th place, despite having to overtake the New Caledonian driver, Patrick Christian, on these tight, twisty bends.
Through slip, long 3 left. Kinks 80 through slip.
Leanne Barnes had slipped out of the top 10, but she was still going on her second only attempt at the stage after ending up down a bank last year. Last of the production cars, but heading off all the Kiwi 2 cars.
Dave Strong still held the Kiwi 2 lead, but an early shower for Shane Watkyn, who was going nowhere on 3 wheels. Through the stage, Jason West put up an amazing time, just 36 seconds slower than Strong. But consider this, his little Suzuki has around 75 less kilowatts than the Honda. That shows how much the stage is about handling and not outright power. Cook was 2 minutes 42 seconds down on West through the stage, and as one of the more senior members of the rally fraternity, probably wondering how the hell they used to drive that stage in the old days.
So for the second year in the road, the master of the Motu is Richard Mason. Question is, could he hold on and win the leg this time? Closely followed by Chris West, Sam Murray, Tapper, Martin, Sumner, Turner and Smith. Stick around, coming up, the Fords of Whakarau, and will anybody beat the 217 Ks they clicked at Rotorua?
Redwoods, about 2.5 hours out of Rotorua, is this small town. It's the site of the service park on day 2. It's also the site of Motu, one of the most notorious stages on the Rotorua Rally. What's so great about Metawai?
Metawai, what's so great about Metawai? Have you got some other questions you could ask?
What do you guys do for fun?
Sharing sometimes.
Well, I got halfway to Podiki and ended up in Metawai.
Yeah, we all know each other, yeah.
What's your opinion about these rally drivers hitting town for a day?
Oh, yeah, they're here and gone real quick, but they certainly wreck the roads.
Oh, it's a bit of a hoot, I suppose. There's a lot of local fundraising and things done. That's quite good.
I see you've got a nice-looking pub on the corner. Is that a hot spot?
Yeah, no, it's a good spot. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, it sure was going off in Metawai. The locals will be looking forward to a bit of peace and quiet when the rally leaves.
Special Stage 5 Whakarau was the stage of Fords. There are 5 throughout the 32 kilometres of flowing county road, a real favourite of the drivers. And then Rotorua, another 25 Ks, which starts running along a cliff face and finishes with the fastest piece of road in the New Zealand Rally Championship, which have seen speeds hitting 217 kilometres an hour. Just what you need to wrap up a day that started with the Mighty Motu. Chris West had to bow to Mark Tapper on day 1 of this rally. Worse still, he had to watch as Toshi Arai had taken a similar PWRC Subaru to a share of the lead in the international section. Then he'd been beaten through the Motu by Richard Mason in the car which had taken him to the championship 3 years ago. Well, the only answer to that would be found on the next stage, and that's exactly what West did, posting a time 7.2 seconds faster than Mason, taking back the rally lead by 1.1 seconds from Mason, who wasn't letting go. And after safely negotiating the bridge which costed the rally last year, Mason went through Rotorua on the next stage 4 seconds faster than West. The rally leader again going back to the master demand by just 2.8 seconds. But don't write off Mark Tapper. The Manukau driver hadn't given up. In fact, he was the fastest of the New Zealand drivers through Whakarau by 7 seconds. And on Rotorua, third fastest. So at the end of the day, he was back to third, 38 seconds down on Mason, but still going hard.
8 right after the finish. Finish. Scary things, mate. You drove well, though.
Sam Murray was very lucky to hold on to fourth place when he punctured 4 kilometres left on Whakarau.
4 left plus a 50. 4 left minus a 30. About to go. 4 long, 4 right minus. 4 left plus line 50.
But he was able to get out of the stage without having to stop. By the end of the stage, though, the tyres were totally gone. Brett Martin had a great run through Whakarau, 4th fastest, but he was only the 7th fastest through the next stage, Rotorua. However, that meant he was enough to hold on to 5th place by 21 seconds from Sumner. And those 21 seconds were proving elusive to Sumner. After trailing Martin through stage 6 Whakarau, he beat him on the next stage, but only by 1.6 seconds.
Into 4 right plus, into 4 left minus, forward 80, 3 left, don't cut, concrete bridge.
Dylan Turner held 7th place after stage 5, but would drop a place to 8th on the next. Ironically, it wasn't due to his pace dropping off, though.
30, 4 right, 30, 4 right, short 4 left minus, long 3 right, 30.
It's just that Glenn Smith finally put together a great stage. 4th fastest on stage 6 behind the trio at the top, moving him up to 7th overall.
5 left and 3 right, wipers on. 3 left long through concrete forward. 3 right here and 3 left long through concrete forward. 30.
Now, the rookie battle had gone in Taylor's favour, but a 2-minute lead over Leanne Barnes dropped back to just 50 seconds when he punctured and spun on stage 6. But the damage had been done in the Motu for Barnes, losing 1 minute 30 to Taylor there cost her dearly. She would finish the first leg in 10th overall. Grant Barber had a heart-stopping moment here with half a spin, coming close to another major rebuild.
80 to 3 right.
But he got away with it at the Cat Rentals Mitsubishi to finish 11th. So just 2.8 seconds separate Mason in first from Weston second, a familiar tale. Tapper lucky to come back to third after his disaster. Sam Murray also lucky to hold on to 4th after the puncture.
4th's probably where we should have been. Richard, Chris and Mark are all going to be pretty quick anyway, so 4th's probably where we were going to be. It's just a shame we had, the puncture, which cost us so much time in Whakarau, and then I sort of made a mistake and had a spin in Rotorua, sort of 5 or 6k from the end. So, not a great day, but it's not terrible.
That was terrible. That was.
Yeah, we've got to be pretty happy with third, considering the amount of time we lost in Motu. I mean, it's one of those what if, or it would have been nice not to have that happen, but these things happen, and look forward to tomorrow. And I mean, I think the roads tomorrow will probably suit my car a bit better than possibly the roads today did.
Chris West was left ruining those crucial few seconds, which once again cost him the top points on the leg.
It is frustrating, but it's just part of it, the whole package, and we've just got to get those little bits repaired, and maximum attack tomorrow.
Richard, you won today. I think that's 4 in a row now.
Yeah, that's bloody good. Woohoo!
So it's obviously been a great day for you.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Yesterday through Manawahai, we were having a few problems. First stage, we were off a cylinder and dropped quite a bit of time. And through Manawahai, we had some fuel surge problems. And we're like, okay, we've got the Motu coming up, so we'll try and pull something out of the bag there. And managed to get it all back on track. And then Whakarau, Westy took a bit out of us, and just to make it a good fight. And then through Rotorua, we just had a good run, and it was fantastic.
Well, you did the same as what you did in Marsden in the last stage.
Well, what can I say? When you got to turn it on, you got to turn it on.
Coming up, it's a sprint to the finish, if they can finish at Rotorua. The final day at Rally Rotorua was also leg 2 of the rally, so all new points up for grabs over just 4 stages, making this the shortest ever rally in the New Zealand Rally Championship. To add to that, just 2 stages would make up the day, repeated twice with a service at Rotorua. The first stage, Waiotapu, 24 kilometres south of the city through a pine forest, well known to the drivers. But the next stage, Redwoods, was all new for 2005. 23.24 kilometres, this road varied from open and fast to tight and slow, with a couple of strips of tarmac thrown in. In fact, Stage 7 had quite heavy gravel at the start, but it was the intersection which would cause Subaru's Chris West the most problems. First an overshoot here, just approaching way too fast over a blind brow. And then trying to make up the lost time, a wild ride here, totally missing the corner. Those indiscretions would lose Westy around 25 seconds. Mark Tapp was next through the stage and taking full advantage of the road position on clearer swept roads, as Mitsubishi seeming to have an edge on the faster parts of the stage. Now remember, this is a whole new day for points, and fastest through the stage, Tapper was looking to collect maximum at the end of the day. His time, 13 minutes, 28.3 seconds. He beats the old stage record by 10 seconds. Mason was trying to beat both of them, A, to keep up with the pace of Tapper, and trying to get past West to take the lead in the overall championship. He was 15 seconds slower than Tapper through the stage here, but that was still good enough for second. Glenn Smith, one of the few drivers to take heed of the rain, bolted on narrow mud tyres. He was thinking more about the slippery Redwoods stage, but amazingly, they worked here too.
8 left 80 and ahead through junction to 4.
After struggling to be in the top 8 in the first leg, he was suddenly 3rd overall, just under 2 seconds back from Mason. Emma Gilmore had a lot more time to make up too after being second in the championship race. Her retirement in the Motu had cost her dearly. Now she was 4th through here, 3 seconds behind Smith. Marty Rostenberg, another who had retired on day 1 of the rally, but he knows these roads really well and was 5th fastest in the early stage, ahead of the struggling Chris West. In fact, 25 seconds between 2nd and 9th places in the middle, Bret Martin. Dean Sumner is Rotorua's top rally driver. He was a man on the mission through here, hoping to bring home some local glory.
120.
2.4 seconds behind Martin in 8th, but just 1.4 seconds ahead of Sam Murray.
Tightens to 3. 30. Plus. Opens 50. Bret 250.
Sam Murray had problems through here. Like West, he's struggling for grip. Conditions are just getting worse.
Kinks 3 right. 150. 7 right. 300.
Special Stage 8 Redwoods was run through the roads at the edge of Rotorua City, a very popular mountain bike and picnic spot for the fans, promoted as a spectator spectacular. But for the drivers, an absolute muddy nightmare. It was this short downhill stretch of treacherous clay that caused most of the problems. Chris West was only the 3rd car through the stage, but already it was breaking up and he was bouncing off the banks. His time, 17.15, would actually see him move from 6th to 4th. Mark Tapper was in attack mode. He didn't seem to mind banging his car from bank to bank to get through the stage, although it was testing his patience.
And 30. Just brake a little bit earlier for those things, mate. And opens in 30.
beat West. He was the leading New Zealand driver through the stage, despite all those banking problems.
Same for everyone down here, mate. 3 left tightens to very, very...
His time, 16 minutes, 50.5 seconds.
6 right, 30 to rough 2 left in junction, rough 2 left.
Mason was unable to come close to Tapper's race, while he was now second for the day, 28 seconds behind. In the battle for the overall international section of the rally, he was also second to Toshi Arai, with Tapper closing in fast on third. Glenn Smith was really benefiting from those mud tyres. He'd almost had total control through the same piece of road, which had cost the other drivers so much time and worry. He was now third overall for the leg ahead of West.
We've got the right tyres on, mate. Make use of them. 3 left tightens and opens, 60, and 2 right. Repeat, 2 right.
Marty Rostenberg's bad luck continued over. He punctured early in the stage and lost 2.5 minutes. So Brett Martin moved up to 5th. Emma Gilmore nearly overcooked it on this junction. It's also a good example why you shouldn't stand so close to the outside of a corner. She had a severe vibration at the end of the stage and slowed, worried that a wheel might come off. But it was just the mud on her wheels, and she dropped back to 6th equal with Sam Murray.
5 left plus opens 30.
And Murray realises too late that he's made a bad tyre choice.
I think we should have been on muds. I think so.
So halfway through this 4-stage day, and Tapper leads leg 2 by 28 seconds. But check out the battle for 6th. Murray and Gilmore tied. And tyre choice had played a big part of the day. Remember from our Dunlop tyre talk, they have 3 options: a narrow mud tyre, a normal tyre, or a tyre which has got large cuts taken out of the tread pattern to try and help clear the mud away.
Mark, looks like tyres were a bit of a key ingredient this morning.
Yeah, I think we made a pretty good choice that we had a soft compound Michelin on, and it worked fairly well, but the stages have cut up a lot, and I think that we do really need to change to our mud tyre for the next run through.
Tyres are so important, and yeah, Mark took a gamble and took a full cut on a soft, and worked to his advantage. So hence we got we had a bit of catch up, but it's only unfortunately there's 2 stages to go, so there won't be much of that.
Glenn, you were saying that your car is a bit vague in the wet conditions, but this morning you've been flying. You're up to 3rd.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of luck, really. We chose the right tyres. It's still got that mid-corner and exit corner push. I think there's something in the program we need to change for my style of driving that in the wet conditions it lets it drive a bit more at the turns and get a bit more grip. It's just something we're going to have to do some testing with and change. But we went out on muds and it dug in, and the conditions, hey, we've got the times, and we'll take it.
Coming up, it's the run to the finish, and it's going to be a wild ride. Still to come on Chick Quattro Arena at 4. We review last weekend's super fast, hot and dusty Rally Acropolis, round 8 of the WRC. And then at 5, rugby first. Join our brains trust of Nate Hamish and the panel of rugby heavyweights as they recount all the action from last night's series deciding second test. The All Blacks against those, well, we can't say whinging British and Irish Lions, but we can talk about them this afternoon. 3 Sports, Chick Quattro Arena.
Dave Strong took victory in both legs of the rally in the Kiwi 2 class. His Honda Civic proving too fast and too strong for the competition. In fact, at the rally end, only 2 other Kiwi 2 cars remained. Jason West had a faultless run in his Suzuki, but this day the roads had not suited his car. He was 4 minutes down on Strong. And James Holder kept his borrowed car on the road to finish 3rd in class, collecting 46 points for the class, and amazingly, finishing 1st rookie on the rally.
It had been mission impossible for the Cat Rentals team to get Grant Barber ready for this rally, but he repaid them by bringing home the car in 11th place and with no dents.
4 right, stop. Yeah, well done. 4 right plus
Sam Murray's challenge for a top 5 place ended on the side of the road, losing 4 minutes in stage 9 with a puncture. He tried hard in 10, 4th fastest, but not good enough to do any more than 10th overall. Rostenberg made good his lost time in the morning, 3rd fastest, but then crawled out of 10 with another puncture and had to settle for 9th.
I haven't had a puncture for about 8 or 9 years, and to have 2 in one day, it's incredible.
And a puncture on stage 9 finally ended Chris West's hope. He finished the day back in 8th place. Dylan Turner fought, muscled and cajoled the Mitsubishi through the mud of stage 10 to finish 7th.
Very, very long. 3 left. Which tightens.
Emma Gilmore lost her 5th place. The car just not up to handling the slippery conditions on the final stage.
Opens to 6 long. 30, 5 right plus. Opens to 6 long, tightens to 4 over crest.
Dean Sumner left his charge until stage 9 when he was 4th fastest.
It's just ridiculous. He's a right plus tightens. 120.
Despite the frustrations, in the end, that secured him 5th place, his best result of the season so far. And another great result for Bret Martin, 4th place by using every inch off the road.
30 and 3 right.
And after a lacklustre season, Glenn Smith finally gets a podium finish.
And 60 to very long.
A sign maybe that he's finally getting to grips with the production class car. Richard Mason had no chance to catch Mark Tapper. That's for the overall leg 2 honours. But he did have an eye on the overall rally position. He was second to Eri at the final control. Only Tapper could beat him.
Richard, Mark Tapper was 13 seconds behind you going into the stage. Do you think you've held him out?
Gee, it's hard to tell. You know, there's not much we can do about it now, though. We had a couple of little spins in that stage that cost us a bit of time, but we were generally a bit more committed in there as well, and the conditions were a bit better, so who knows? We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yes, Tapper would have to beat Mason's stage 10 time by 14 seconds to win that place. Remember, it's just glory up for grabs here as the New Zealand Championship drivers only award points for results at the end of each leg, not the overall rally result.
Opens and 30. Back. 4 right bump and 30 to 4 left minus. Tightens past junction.
Now, Eri had set the stage record of 16 minutes 34.6 seconds on the first run through the stage. Mason's time on stage 10 was only 16.56, so Tapper did have a chance.
Good drive, mate. Thank you. Well done.
But as they cross the line and pull up, he knows that the time has just eluded him.
16.56. Oh, we missed out by a second, I think.
It's that little teeny-weeny bit that you need to hold on by, isn't it? You know, like it doesn't take much, but that's all you need.
But compensation for Mark Tapper. He wins the leg from Richard Mason, Glenn Smith in 3rd, and that means changes to the overall points table. West holds on to a 3-point lead over Mason, but Tapper still in touch, 24 points behind in 3rd. Another victory in Kiwi 2 puts Dave Strong in the perfect score on top from Jason West. And Subaru lead the manufacturer's trophy despite being heavily outnumbered in the championship entry. And as they celebrate in style of the Daniel LeBrun podium, we head towards Hawke's Bay and the penultimate round for 2005. It's been